Kraev.
Quickly taken by Mata, and there are appeals for handball by the Wanderers. Quite strident ones from one or two players as well. It'll be interesting on the replay. So now we continue. Josh Bolante playing that centre-back role again, spraying the ball out towards Clisby near side. Good start to this contest. We're told VAR has given that handball shout the all clear. So no penalty for the Wanderers. In the midst of all the early excitement, Harps, one of the questions I wanted to ask you was how much the Wanderers might miss the energy of Brandon Borello today. Bit of a shock omission, hamstring problem.
Yeah, hugely. I mean, he's the energizer bunny that really can shake things up. For the Wanderers, a great leader for the team, and they'll miss him. But they've got some wonderful players that can find space to play now because Borello's not available.
Strata,
which is not at all
through the back of his opponent. Sorry, Hans.
No, that's okay. It's not at all to suggest that Brandon's absence is a blessing in disguise for the football club. Having to deal with his absence means that Antonsen comes into the team and he brings a lot of quality. He's struggled to command a consistent starting berth, but he knows where the goal is. Antonsen, with his limited match time, he's towards the top of the pops.
It's a very risky ball played by Priestman, and it's put the Wanderers back under pressure. Sprayed out wide by Nando Pijnacke for De Vries. With Pijnacke. Jake Brimmer. De Vries. Lovely left peg, but he crosses this time with the right. And Lawrence Thomas out to make a good play.
Well, looking to play on quickly there, Lawrence Thomas, after taking this centering ball very cleanly. But Auckland, and as a measure of their success, had adopted their defensive positions really quickly, quicker than the Wanderers could break. And Lawrence Thomas, his desire to get things going for Western Sydney, was thwarted because of that really quick adjustment by the visitors here today, the cornerstone of their success today, I'd suggest.
Clisby wanted a foul. He's going to be disappointed. Is he impeded by Logan Rogerson? The officials thought not. Have just come back to the pack a little bit in recent weeks after their blinding start to the competition. They won the first 6 straight, of course. Last 6, a little bit of a mixed bag. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 2. I guess that was always going to be the case. They've got a long throw to come here, potentially, from Hiroki Sakai in front of a decent number of travelling Auckland supporters. And net at the near post with Lawrence Thomas out of his goal by Max Mata. And they will go again. Across from Rogerson. Oh, it's Pantasopoulos who nods it behind for a corner, but the Wanderers were rocking there, not once but twice.
And it was Pantasopoulos twice to clear the ball. Lawrence Thomas comes and then hits for a treat, and Pantasopoulos with a really important interception. And the second time of asking, it's a more routine glancing header away for the corner. Nevertheless, he had to be there to do the job. It's a good sequence of pressure attacks by Auckland. Have settled very quickly here in Parramatta on this Australia Day.
Jake Brimmer sending up the signal to his teammates. Just a slight delay whilst the referee has a conversation with Tommy Smith and Marcus Antonsen. Two experienced campaigners. There's a real jostle for position at the back of the penalty area. Corner doesn't reach them, out by Bonatic. Mata couldn't reach it, but Kraev will. Look to launch a counter. And he was fouled, the Bulgarian.
And a foul, actually, that didn't need to be made, because Auckland play off that. Without the intervention, Kraev just falls of his own energy and momentum. And Auckland really would have had an opportunity to put the Wanderers under great pressure. Can't otherwise complain about who's been excellent for Auckland this season.
Contributed 3 goals as well, which I'm sure wasn't necessarily part of his brief at the start of the season, but they're all welcome. Threat, particularly in set pieces. Here's Bonatic for the Wanderers, who are yet to really get out of first gear. And I mentioned that home record, Harps, this season. 2 wins, 1 draw, 4 defeats. Needs to be better for the red and black. Sapsford not able to link up with Juan Mata. This is Jake Brimmer for Auckland. Good switch of play. Rogerson. Hiroki Sakai invited forward. Brimmer still playing with heavy strapping to that right leg. Wasn't involved against Adelaide during the week. Dramatic game which finished in a 2-2 draw. Back in place of Felipe Gallegos in midfield today. Sakai. It's a rather heavy first touch from Vestrata, one back by Brimmer. Priestman a little late on Brimmer. Free kick, Auckland FC.
Well, clearly the dominant team, Auckland. I mean, their anticipation to cut off the outlet for Wanderers as they look to play has been really fabulous. It's been exacerbated from a Wanderers viewpoint because of some poor passing. Priestman and Sapsford have given the ball away cheaply. Really, it's only Bojidar Kraev who's looked at all comfortable in breaking out for Western Sydney. Otherwise, the Red and Blacks are completely enveloped by the Black Knights at the moment.
Is this going to be the outswinger from Brimmer or the in-swinger from Francis de Vries? There's a whole line of Auckland players standing offside just at the moment. Wanderers' defensive line will drop. It is Brimmer to fire it in. It was right in that corridor of uncertainty. Maybe just a fraction too flat. Priestman happy to let the ball roll behind for a goal kick and a little bit of relief for the Wanderers. And they launch the ball forward to find Zach Sapsford. Momentarily hemmed up by Sakai. Here's Sapsford, and Paulson was beaten, but so too was the post. Sapsford believing perhaps that Paulson got a touch. And that is confirmed. It is going to be a Wanderers corner, so let's go down as a decent save.
Well, that's the fast break that the Wanderers have looked for. It's the only one they've managed to actually execute, and apart from a really good effort on goal, a bit of a feather in the cap for Sapsford there, seeing off the one-on-one attention of Hiroki Sakai. It was Sapsford versus 3 Auckland players, and he found a way through, much to the relief in more ways than one of Western Sydney Wanderers, who can now pressure the goal through this corner.
Manta drives back towards Nicholas Milanovic, who blasted in low and hard, but Auckland deal with that, and now the Wanderers have got to scramble back as Auckland are pouring forward on the counter. Logan Rogerson in possession, leaves it for Guillermo Mai, who's going to have a go here. That was travelling, wasn't it? Just needed a bit of dip at the end of it, and that could have been 1-0.
He's got the taste. He found his range with that recent beauty in Auckland, and now he's got the taste for it. A beautiful swerve. Lawrence Thomason read it early, but you don't want to be giving Guillermo Mai more opportunities like that around the goal. He can hit the ball.
All the ingredients are there for a really good contest.
Yeah, it's shaping up that way. Excellent start from Auckland, and you know, Wanderers need to win this. Home teams need to win. It's an amazing theme in this version of the A-League Men's Comp, the number of teams who are struggling to win games at home, including the team that's leading the competition. Adelaide's home form, well, their top ranking is built basically on a sequence of away wins. They haven't been disappointing at home, but they haven't been winning that regularly. The Wanderers up until last night, MacArthur, big questions about their home form. Sydney FC. Not so much clubs building fortresses, just at least trying to build a sandcastle to start with.
It's a good steal by De Vries. Still scrapping for the ball, but ultimately losing out. Makes Auckland's way now. Side. And for goal himself. Routine in the end for Paulson.
Now, unfortunately for the Wanderers, it's a fluxed effort on goal, really. And as soon as Milanovic got it, he was shaping up to shoot. No real problem with that, except that you've got to do more with the shot because there were other options. Players to his left in space, always back, an aggressive mindset that wants to zero in on the goal, but once you've ignored your support, you have to do more with it than Milanovic did then.
The goals have just dried up a little bit for Nicholas Milanovic after his red-hot start to the season. He's given away a foul here, and Jesse Randall. Meantime, Guillermo Mai is down on his haunches. Which I thought Sean Evans had given a free kick, but it's just a throw. Ruled shoulder to shoulder. Guillermo Mai's back up and about, ready for this launch from De Vries. Off the Wanderer's head. Straight into the gloves of Thomas. It's the one clean sheet for Lawrence Thomas so far this season. With the 2-0 away win at Melbourne City. Strata again, going through the back of Božidar Krajev. But it's indicative of Auckland's positive mindset. They're trying to win the ball back high up the park.
Yeah, and you hear coaches talk about defending on the front foot, and Auckland are putting on a great display of that again here this afternoon. Wanderers really struggling to get through them. Now, individuals have miscontrolled and mishit too many passes for the Wanderers, which has played into the hands and encouraged Auckland to be even more aggressive, defend even more on that front foot, but they're doing it very, very effectively.
It's the Priestman. His impression of Louis Verstraete some moments ago. He's the national team coach, Tony Popovic, taking in what I think is his final A-League game before he heads off to Europe to check in on some of his overseas-based stars. By the way, talking of which, congrats to Tommy Waddingham. Formerly of this parish, well, not Western Sydney, but the A-League, on getting his goal on debut, albeit in a 5-1 loss for Portsmouth yesterday to West Bromwich Albion, but great to see him hitting the ground running in England. Players Tony Popovic might have been watching today. have been Brandon Borello, but he's not involved. Here's Verstraete, posting in. It's a really good retrieval. Little flick from Guillermo Mai. Pops out here for Max Mata, and blazed over the top in the end. Again, really good work. This time by Verstraete in the first instance, and then Mai again.
Well, hasn't he got the competition taking notice, Verstraete? Mostly for just being a wrecking ball. But it's a really good penetrating run. Delightful innovation from Guillermo Mai as well. And unfortunately, all the good work of Verstraete undone with that overhit effort towards the goal. But again, Auckland building their case. Again, Tommy Smith all over Zach Satsford like a bad suit. I reckon that was a fair leap for the ball. They have been pinged a few times for breaching the laws and being a little too tight, tackling from behind, but I thought that from Smith was clean.
Clisby earning the throw. He's eager to take it quickly for Satsford. Back through Kraev. Now Juan Mata. Forward in towards Satsford's near post. Auckland will look to counter. Jesse Randall on the left. And De Vries is pushing up to offer him some support down that flank. He's uses the decoy. Randall to shoot. No problems this time for Lawrence Thomas.
Yeah, disappointing in the end. Jesse Randall, who showed a clean pair of heels down that far touchline and plenty of time to set himself. Technique. Found wanting badly. Just when he had it set up, opened the ankle nicely.
It's been an engrossing first 20 minutes. Ivanovic. Well, one of two Auckland players, and then almost skipped clear of Francis De Vries, which is about an Auckland throw, and the chance for us to say good afternoon to Tristan McManus, who's sideline for us. Tris.
Hello guys, yeah, great to see us. Yeah, what can you say? I mean, it's a bit indicative of Wanderers' season at the minute. The fact that Brandon's missing, he carries a lot of inspiration as well in this team. His energy obviously is what drives them. They just seem a little bit slow at doing things, Wanderers. This is the most I've seen Kraev move in the last couple of weeks, and I think they need it. They need someone to add that energy to move things a little bit quicker. I feel like they're missing something in the midfield a little bit. That being said, you can see the quality that Auckland have. They're great going forward. They're probably going to dictate an awful lot what Wanderers do today, but it's been a good start so far. The crowd isn't as big as it usually would be here, which you can expect with the weekend that it is, but they've certainly made themselves heard here.
Brandon Borello only likely to be out for this game, as we understand it. Not a long-term injury, but enough to keep him out. Should be back for the Wanderers' next game, which is in Brisbane on the 31st of January. Of the next instalment of the Sydney Derby against Sydney FC. Kraev. Ball pass from Satsford, gets the return from Juan Mata. Driving into the box and earning his team a corner off Jake Brimmer.
Well, Jake Brimmer can run too, Simon. He normally bounces around a field. You don't really see him go through the gears, but he realises I'm the last fella here and I've got to match it with Zach Satsford, and that's not easy. Jake Brimmer did an excellent job there to retrieve that situation as it was emerging for the Wanderers. He's been lively today, Satsford.
Corner work short between Priestman and Juan Mata. Back for Clisby. Mata, too much of it to Logan Rogerson. Somewhat wasted corner.
It was, and in the end, Mata's touch was heavy. The idea was good, but his touch was heavy, but it shouldn't have got to that point. It looked like it just went wrong from the start, and
I think Alan Stajic is best pleased.
Or he just stubbed his toe. This is a massive game for Western Sydney. Got to start winning at home. We say that every time we come. We've been doing it for a number of years. We're waiting for that cycle to turn. And to play against the competition's new boys, who, the way they've conducted themselves in establishing this club, have really embarrassed a lot of the incumbents.
Brimmer. Mata. In effect, another one of those quick turns. Quite able to do so on this occasion. In the air by Tommy Smith. Fryer punches it forwards. And Tommy Smith says to his goalkeeper, "You come and get that one." Warhorse, a stalwart of New Zealand football over the years. Pretty good player to have at your disposal. You've got an injury to the likes of Dan Ball. Here's his defensive partner, no Pineacre. And now Brimmer. Sakai. Pineacre. Room for him to advance. Put it into a decent area for Jesse Randall. The breeze. Sneaking in the cross. Again, Mai looking to take it on the chest. Repel that particular raid. Rogerson clipped the heels of Clisby. Clear off the head of Bonatig. Ryev now with time. Really many options for Lawrence Thomas. He was just a little slow to reorganise. There's Mai. Randall's shots was blocked. Strata. Sakai. Steered away by Brillante. Sakai and Sapsford collapse in a heap, and the whistle goes the way of the red and black.
Well, it started out an even contest, but in the end, Sakai quickly, in my view, adjudged to have fouled Sapsford, but they're in a spot of bother, the Wanderers. Just watching these last few minutes. As a football team, they're either not as well conditioned as Auckland, or they're just not prepared to work as hard as Auckland.
And they've given the ball away to Auckland. There's no foul there by Priestman. Warning signs ringing loud and clear for the home team. Sapsford. Now Mata. Through the centre for Milanovic. Thompson just got the ball caught between his feet, and that has allowed Auckland to retreat in numbers. And then he turned his back on the ball, Marcus Antonsen. It's a little bit lucky there, I reckon, to get a free kick.
Sure. I mean, Sean Evans, the ref, will feel like obviously he didn't have any choice, but this is a bit of a gimme. Antonsen had turned blind into the Auckland defender. He had no idea the ball was coming. He realises how fortunate he was too. And how football can change after being so dominant. How often often do you see it? The Wanderers just as likely to bomb up now from a set piece and take the lead.
They've sent Spolleting and Anthony Pantazopoulos forward for his free kick. Juan Mata delivers towards the back post, and the Wanderers' head did reach it. And here is Pantazopoulos, and then turned over the top by Milanovic. Good chance that for Western Sydney.
Well, it's an unbelievably good chance. Auckland not able to get it away. Jeez. It's a fabulous chance for Western Sydney.
Just tried to back heel it in because it's come at him so quickly. Pantazopoulos with the initial effort.
In the end, just control it well enough. It was a very close thing as it was.
Have now created a couple of chances of their own. Zach Sapsford had one after 12 minutes. Nicholas Milanovic has now had a couple. Sapsford, who scored twice against Auckland in pre-season friendly win. The Wanderers by 4-2. Smarting from a bit of a whack that he's picked up in that challenge. Sakai, those with our cry of arms, were all over the 74 times capped Japanese international. Nearly wriggling through two Wanderers players, and he's still come away with the ball here. Rogerson. Grit in those challenges from Western Sydney Wanderers. De Vries. Randall. Heel from Max Mata. This is where Auckland's press has been pretty good. This time the Wanderers good enough to get through that first press, but on back fairly by Pineacre. Here's Max Mata on the turn, and it forces a smart save out of Lawrence Thomas.
Well, Anderson asking, not unreasonably, I don't think, where the decision was on halfway. Thereafter, it unfolds nicely for Auckland, and a nice bit of centre-forward play from Max Mata. Turned with a nice touch and got a strong shot on goal.
Triad, touched by Antonsen for Juan Mata, who was blocked off by Jesse Randall, but no whistle from Sean Evans, and again Auckland stream forward. Is trying to give Randall an option, but he turned into a bit of a cul-de-sac there, Jesse Randall. The Wanderers punched the ball forward, but under Pineacre, always goal side of Marcus Antonsen. Just chose the wrong option there, Jesse Randall.
Yeah, again, it didn't look like he was formulating any particular plan in his mind as he was charging upfield.
Warm afternoon, but Steve Corrick has still got the jacket on. favour of the Wanderers. Clisby. Cryer for Bonneting. Plenty forward in this attack for the Wanderers. Needs a better delivery than that, though.
He's a talented player, Bonneting. He's got a lovely left foot on him. That was an execution. Utterly bereft of any particular idea.
Jake Brimmer. Happy to drop a bit deeper at times and help lick the play. Yeah, my mind. Looking to launch in towards that near post area. Top by Rogerson, but straight at Thomas. The set off down the right through Pantazopoulos. He's been the ultimate defensive utility, hasn't he, this season? Anthony Pantazopoulos for the Wanderers. Right back, left back, centre back.
Yeah, very robust, very combative, very committed. He's managed to plug those gaps as needed, done a good job.
Jonte Walker, of course, still on the injured list for the Wanderers. Deciding a defender in the window. Here's Antonsen with the cutback. Sits for Zach Sapsford.
Maybe Bleinecker just put Sapsford off, but he delayed his run, the young Wanderers striker. Anderson rounding the ball up. He sees the positioning of Sapsford, who'd held on nicely, and Antonsen delivered the ball on the line exactly as Sapsford imagined, and then must have just been put off by Bleinecker being there. Otherwise it was as Sapsford had imagined, but he just didn't get any decent contact on the ball at all.
Just been the slightest of touches, of course, off the boot of Bleinecker, which put him off his stride. It's a lovely ball through. He was onto it. It was offside. It's been busy down that left-hand side. Nicely at times with Francis de Vries. 22-year-old is starting his third consecutive game in place of Liam Gillian. Even on the bench tonight, not sure whether that's an injury or not. My shot is blocked, and that would be an Auckland corner.
Well, whilst the Wanderers have had some good sights at goal, probably in absolute terms come closer to scoring than Auckland, you get the feeling that for large parts of the rest of the match they're just hanging on. They look a little punch drunk to me, and having been worn down by this constant pressure from Auckland, it looks really conceivable that Auckland are going to take the lead at some point.
Let's see if it's down to arrive from this corner, delivered by Francis de Vries. High hanging ball in the air, won by Max Mata. Strata going to get around referee Sean Evans. His cross was deflected. It's a Wanderers throw, and a chance for a bit of a breather for the red and black, who theoretically should be the fresher of the two, given that Auckland only played 3 or 4 days ago. travel as well. All too easily for the visitors. Here's Jake Brimmer. Thought about the shot. Reynolds cross looking for Max Mata. Just wanted not too many touches there, Auckland FC, but again they win the ball back high up the field. Randall. Corner ball.
Close thing for the Wanderers, and when they had a chance to break again for the first time, the connecting pass was inadequate, intercepted pretty routinely by Auckland, and they attack again, pressing the Wanderers back. It really is the biggest surprise of the half, I'd say, is that it hasn't yet yielded a really gilt-edged chance for Auckland.
Have conceded 9 goals from set pieces so far this season. That's the joint most in the competition, along with Brisbane. This corner's going to have to be retaken. Two number 9s in direct combat, along with Zach Sapsford. Ready for take 2. Brimmer. Delivery, goal kick. Ando Pineacre last. Bounced up onto the hand of Milanovic, but play on is the verdict. Here's Kraev. Touched by Sapsford. Kraev making his way into the box, but he lost his footing. Not the ball, the Wanderers. Milanovic's effort is charged down. Auckland got bodies around the ball. Now the Wanderers have been caught with numbers upfield, and Brimmer is dragged to the turf unceremoniously by Oliver Priestman. Oscar Priestman, I should say. Easy yellow card.
Well, again, when he decides to change pace, look, he just leaves Pantazopoulos completely in his dust. And Priestman decides, I don't think I can leg it any further with him, despite the fact that maybe Bonatic had a chance to play Jake Brimmer off that ball, but again a cheap turnover in possession. The Wanderers set and attacking, and again they'd scrambled a chance towards goal, which was blocked. That effort from Milanovic. It bounces out for the Wanderers again. Miscommunication, getting in each other's way, and then Auckland break. He's got about 6 rolls of tape holding that right knee together, but it's not stopping his mobility today. He's been impressive. Jake Brimmer.
League action continues to come thick and fast. Another midweek game this week as Western United entertain Central Coast Mariners. Western perhaps a team that not many would have picked to be in the top 6 at this point of the campaign, but they are. Back-to-back champions and in 10th spot at the moment. 1 point for both Wellington and the Wanderers. In the next 2 places ahead of them. So that foul by Priestman, giving Auckland the set piece, which De Vries puts out towards Tommy Smith at the back post. Here's Pineacre. Controlled by Mata, Juan Mata that is. Pantazopoulos struggling for an option, and Verstraete so determined in the challenge. Wanderers get away with it, but this is where they've had problems for pretty much the entirety of the first half.
Well, they need half-time to come. Kraev, after losing the ball, and look, he has worked really hard. He wins that cleanly. Sapsford and Kraev have led the charge for the Wanderers. And too frequently, too many other players have made it look like this is just really hard work. And Auckland have been doing it pretty comfortably. They're making it look comfortable anyway. And their GPS stats will be showing that they've worked the men in white very hard as well. They've got the Wanderers pretty routinely boxed in. It's very frustrating for Alan Stagic's men.
Equally frustrating for Steve Corica that his team hasn't yet managed to score. He has conceded 14 first half goals so far this season. Only Perth have conceded more. To say that the Red and Black have been totally bereft at the other end. They've had one or two opportunities themselves. The general pattern of play has been in this direction.
Yeah, I mean, going into half-time, as much as they need a cool drink and a refresh, the Wanderers, they've had the better chances at goal. And it is the bizarre fact here at Parramatta this first half. Auckland very, very impressive. They haven't been able to score. You're right, Simon, that will be frustrating for the coach.
Sakai. First half stoppage time, which there will be 1 minute, as indicated by Adam Kersey, the fourth official. Sakai. Team ball was left a little short, and then Sakai and Bonneting collided into one another. And both are hurt, particularly Sakai. He just seemed to lose his footing.
There was pretty heavy contact for both players. Bonneting is back to his feet. Robbie Sakai soon to follow.
Stagic the opportunity to issue one or two words to his team. Steve Corica likewise. And there we go. It is half-time, not for the want of trying for both teams. Auckland have generally had the better of things. Sapsford had one early chance for Western Sydney Wanderers. Nicholas Milanovic had a couple as well at the other end. Guillermo Mai has been excellent in those tight spaces for Auckland. A couple of turns and shots well saved by Lawrence Thomas. Max Mata with one chance as well that produced a good save out of the Wanderers custodian. So at half-time at Parramatta, it is goalless. Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Auckland FC 0. We're off to a quick break ourselves. Join us on the other side of it. Tristan and Andy will run the rule over what we've just seen in the first half.
Georgievski. Oh, the flying header! Well, what a dream start at the reborn Wonderland. It's the captain, Mitchell Duke, flying in for his third goal of the season. What a brilliant ball in from Georgievski.
Hello there and welcome back to Combank Stadium. What Wanderers could do with a strike like that from Mitchell Duke. And this is the Hungry Jacks halftime show. The deadline, or the scoreline I should say, is yet to be broken. I'm joined here by Andy Harbour. Andy, we're just looking at Sapsford's good chance for the first half. So close for the Wanderers.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 occasions the Wanderers were close, I'm sure, as we'll see in this halftime recap. Bizarrely, however, they've been the second best team. Auckland, for all their dominance, haven't actually really tested Lauren Thomas, and I'm sure that'll be a focus of the discussion in the Auckland sheds at the moment.
It's certainly a frustrating game for both teams, you know, but like I said, we'll take a look through the Harvey Norman highlights. Maybe you can talk us through a few of them. Started out how we expected, Auckland on the attack. Great turn.
Well, this was indicative of what was to come from Kajema May, who, in my opinion, is really growing in A-League CV. It's taken him a while to get going. Obviously, a great pedigree, but that turn, the goal he scored coming into this game, and now some of the stuff he's done on the field really should excite the Auckland fans and put fear through the Wanderers fans, because he could easily be the guy who breaks this open for Auckland if they can back up in the second half with an effort similar to that which they produced in the first half. But as we're going to see, on the occasions that somehow the Wanderers could stick a pass and could make a supporting run, they did get efforts on goal or close to goal. And really, when you look at the balance of those chances, it's they who could say, well, we should have, as poor, or as much as we were second best, poor is probably a bit strong, but as much as we were second best, we could easily be leading this football match. Only in our game could this happen.
Yeah, well, there's definitely something missing. So in the sheds now at the moment, like I said, there's probably frustration for both teams.
Yeah.
Is it Wanderers that maybe start just saying, right, we just need to add this, maybe that can do it, and then then from Auckland's point of view, what is it that Steve's saying? As you take a look at these match stats, I suppose. Well, shots on goals.
Yeah, bizarrely, Auckland's expected goals is higher, given I didn't really see them actually threatening. But don't ask me how to dilute the stats, where I wouldn't know. We know what we've seen. We've seen what the Wanderers look a shadow of what they can be, but still at times to score. And we've seen a revalidation of just of how good Auckland have been to start their life as a full-time professional top-flight club. They've been immense. Now, in the Wanderers dressing room, they'll be saying, and issuing the clarion call to the players, but amongst that staging will be saying, let's see how long they can actually work this hard. Yep. Because it's not easy. It's pretty hot, it's muggy, to make that commitment for the 90 minutes and keep the Wanderers shut down. And then the likes of a Milanovic might come out. Now, he's topping the pops from the Paramount Plus, and you'll have to talk us through that one.
Well, I mean, what can I say? Like I said, he started off the season on fire, really. He was getting a couple of goals. But like I said, when you look at Wanderers' home form at the moment, they've only got 2 wins. They need something. They need that piece of inspiration. And obviously he can bring it. He's got Tony here looking not specifically at him, but it's a huge opportunity for Milanovic.
Massive. And look, he has had a good season on the back of good stuff last year. He needs to take that next level. And again, you know, he comes in top on the Paramount Plus Player Index. Interestingly, that it's Brimmer and May attacking midfield players who've ranked very highly, and that's a complete reflection of how Auckland have been able to win the ball back, sometimes too cheaply from a Wanderers viewpoint, but nevertheless consistently won the ball high, and the midfield has been able to do their thing. Well,
like I said, when you take a look at the Wanderers and the recruitment so far, I mean, they're bringing in a lot of local boys, which is going to be huge for them. Like I said, that's what Wanderers need. That's what the fans want. They need to get this fortress back again. They need to get people behind them. They're getting these people in who know the club well. I mean, we can talk through the names then certainly in a second, but someone who's been good enough to join us right now is someone who all the fans and the team would need in a moment like this, Brandon Borello. Brandon, maybe you can talk to us about the couple of faces who've come in so far and what they add to your team, and I suppose what from the inside, what you feel this team needs going forward.
Yeah, look, obviously we've got Gers back there, very dynamic, up and down. He's always played that way. So that'll be a very interesting signing, as well as we got Mohamed Altay in as well, which is great, you know, a little bit more dynamic in the midfield.
Bit of metal in there as well.
Yeah, exactly, which is always good. It's not to shy away from what the boys are doing now, the ones that are on the pitch, but it brings a sense of depth and, you know, a bit more dynamics to the way we want to play.
Injuries have been a huge thing across the league, and your club's not been immune from it. You're the latest. not just Wanderers fans, but Socceroos fans will know what's going on. How bad is it? How long are you going to be out for?
Look, it's not bad, and determining on how long it's going to take me to get back, I think that's all dependent on me and how hard I'm going to work. So it is a little tweak of the hamstring, not the one that I did last year, which is good news, but it's very minor. Yeah, look, I'll hit the ground running tomorrow. The boys will have a recovery after this, and I'll be on the pitch running my head off, I'm sure.
All right, now if you were on the pitch in that first half, because you've had a bird's eye view, and you know what coaches say at half-time, but if you're on that field leading the team, probably with the band around your arm, what are you saying to your teammates?
Yeah, look, we notified they're one of the teams with the least amount of possession throughout the league, and we know that when they do create chances, they do score. So one of our biggest things this game was to talk about rest defence, and you've seen when our midfield sort of pushed up, or boys have pushed up maybe at the wrong time, that they've broken through and they've had sort of overloads going forward. In saying that, we have as well. I think from counter-attacking football, we've looked very dangerous, and also a few runs in behind that we need to maybe start playing a bit more. We've had Marcus and Zaki in behind, but they are a good team. They're at the top for a reason, so we do need to be careful.
It seems like it's wins or losses at the moment, and of course you can look at this with so many different eyes. From the outside, well, certainly personally, I must say, I feel like you're probably underachieving at the moment. But again, it's a clean sheet at halftime as well. So where do you start? I mean, in terms of what is a small step for this team today, and then what is the big picture and the big step going forward, I suppose?
I think just a string of consistency. There's been this stigma around the club that we haven't won 3 games in a row for however many years. So I think we just need to get rid of that, get back to basics. And, before all the travel and the backup of games, we were playing, some of our best football this season. So just getting back to that, but also not forgetting the amount of hard work that we need to put in to get there first. So, yeah.
Most definitely. But you'll be back next week. Please God, up in Brisbane anyway. Just a Neymar holiday. It's always great to speak to you. Thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck in the second half. Like I said, we don't have to wait too much longer for the second half. We're going to get a goal here today, of course. But that is the end of the Hungry Jacks halftime show. We'll see you at the other side of the break.
Midweek matches are over and the weekly kickoff is back. Catch us every Wednesday for all your Socceroos, Matildas and A-League action.
He's going to go for it. Oh, hat-trick. What a fantastic goal.
Plus all the best bits from the beautiful game from all around the globe. The weekly kickoff returns from February 5, Wednesdays on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus.
To Combank Stadium, the Wanderers fans haven't had too much to jump up and down about in the first half, but they've enjoyed the entertainment during the interval. Now it's up to the players to do their bit. Wanderers a little bit flat in that opening 45. Matter unable to really get involved in an attacking sense. His namesake, Max Mata, probably coming closer to scoring, forcing one good save out of Lawrence Thomas. And the Wanderers can take heart from the fact that they have scored in 19 consecutive A-League matches, even if they have drawn a blank so far today. But of course, this afternoon in the sunshine in Sydney, they are up against the best defence in the competition. A little stat for you: Auckland have conceded only 5 second-half goals so far this season. That's fewer than any other team in the competition. So let's see how the next 3/4 of an hour unfolds. Andy Harper back alongside in commentary. No changes made by either coach, but you'd fancy that perhaps Alan Stajic had the sterner team talk of the two.
I think he had a few more issues to address. I agree. Interesting listening to, or talking with, and then listening to Brendan Borello at half-time. He said, and I agree with this assessment, the Wanderers had strung together some pretty good football. The summer of football series hasn't really helped them. They've got bogged down seemingly badly, finding it hard to recover.
It's a really good little layoff by Zach Sapsford, and it's trying to dart between De Vries and Randall. Gets a throw.
But the second half can be like a new game. They didn't concede in the first half, and as we keep saying, despite Auckland's impressive first half, it wasn't that the Wanderers feel they're lucky to escape.
Pantazopoulos retrieving that ball, and Sapsford trying to steer it in at the near post.
But a huge second half, we keep saying. Needed to overrun, to outplay, to outthink Auckland and get a home win for Western Sydney. Massive effort required.
A reminder of the teams. Start of play today. 3 changes made by Alan Stajic. No Brandon Borello today. He's out with a hamstring injury. Carluccio and Aidan Hammonds both relegated to the bench. Sapsford, Milanovic and Mata restored to the starting 11. 2 changes made by Auckland. Hiroki Sakai returning. Alan Elliott dropping to the bench. Same as Felipe Gallegos to accommodate the return of Jack Brimmer in midfield. Was trying to go down the line, but De Vries was there for Auckland. Not away by Priestman, and then ultimately out by Pantazopoulos. We're going to get one of Francis De Vries' long throws. Towards that near post area. His clearance charged down by Vestrata. And some good driving runs from midfield. It's his cross into the box, which is headed powerfully out by Pantazopoulos. Brought under control by Milanovic. Lesby looking for an option. Wasn't really one available for him, and that too often has been the story for the red and black as they look to get out. Too strong. Priestman. One for Zach Sapsford to chase. He's got the better of Tommy Smith. And Bojidar Kraev got all tangled up. Milanovic. Have a go here, Milanovic. Good effort, beaten away by Paulson. And Sapsford went to ground. There might have been a little bit of contact with Sakai, but nothing doing in terms of a penalty. Encouragement for the home side. Here's Kraev. Good deft touch by Sapsford, and then blazes wide.
Good little spell. Good effort from Milanovic. Sapsford hunting for the rebound. And at this point, geez, I don't know if he's not better off feigning to shoot and releasing Panterzopoulos, who was to his right, would have been in on goal.
By the way, VAR cleared. Any potential penalty award for the Wanderers, and that little coming together between Sakai and Sapsford. Just a bit of encouragement for the home side. Here's Brimmer though for Auckland. Randall having to check his run. Nice touch, Brimmer to go cross-field. Brought down by Rogerson. 3 in the box for Auckland. Swept away by Bonitic. And there's going to be an early change at the start of the second half for Auckland. Jesse Randall has his number called. And we're going to see the introduction of Neda Moreno at his expense. A Colombian who's got 3 goals already this season for Auckland, including one midweek against Adelaide. And we're in readiness for the long throw from Sakai. By Kraev, and then volleyed over in the end by Moreno. His first touch. Would have been some story off the bench.
Well, he created a headline in Adelaide as well, so he's in confidence at the moment.
Moreno. And Sean Evans right on the spot, says that's a foul by Josh Brillante. Free kick, Auckland, good position this too.
2 involvements off the bench, 2 moments of impact from the Colombian. Putting the free kick there, sucking in Josh Brillante, who, as an aside, is doing a very serviceable job in the centre of defence for Western Sydney, but he was caught short then by the Colombian.
About Jake Brimmer's expertise from free kicks. He proved that for many years with Melbourne Victory. Neda Moreno's there as well, saying fresh off the bench, I'm eager. Let me have a go at this one. Lawrence Thomas with a wall of 4 to guard that near post. It's maybe a metre or 2, a little bit too close to the penalty area. We'll see. Here's Jake Brimmer. Nothing to trouble Thomas.
No, it never troubled him at all. Never looked close. Unfortunate for Auckland and Bremer, who's been very good today, otherwise very dangerous.
Immediately given back to Auckland by the Wanderers. Bremer making good progress. Might have been a foul in there, but Sean Evans happy to play the advantage. Sakai's ball into the box, seen out by Bonatig. Go again through Sakai and now Rogerson. Smith, De Vries. Back through Pineacre. Mai was clattered into there by Pantazopoulos, who just got caught completely the wrong side. Sakai. Smith. Space here for Bremer. Mai. After those 2 chances in the space of 30 seconds for the Wanderers, it's of normal service resumed with Auckland camped in the Wanderers' half of the field. Rogerson. Gets rid of Kryev. Shot from Vastrata, always rising. Still awaiting his first goal in Auckland colours.
Yeah. He's been in 2 attacking situations this afternoon, both with a similar outcome.
Cheap turnover. Moreno, Bremer. Rogerson with the low delivery. Good scrambling back though by Western Sydney Wanderers. Good advantage played by Sean Evans, and Nicholas Milanovic is away. And he just got the ball caught between his feet at the crucial moment, Nicholas Milanovic. A tame effort in the end. Really good chance for Western Sydney.
Well, brilliant chance on the counter-attack. Good refereeing as well, allowing play to go on. And De Vries pulling out of a challenge on halfway, which might have got him into serious trouble with the referee, and it was a very judicious decision by the Auckland left back because Milanovic ran out of steam, and it was a tame effort in the end. Another great chance for the Wanderers though.
And earlier on in the season, you'd have almost staked your house on Milanovic scoring that one. He's perhaps a little dip in form, which led to him being left out against the Mariners. That's lovely by Guillermo Mai. Great save by Thomas. And somehow Logan Rogerson can't finish it off at the back post. What a chance for Auckland.
Oh, what a lead up from Guillermo Mai. Oh my goodness.
That's a horrible miss.
Well, we've seen that's now in the pantheon. We've seen a couple of all-time misses, and that joins that group. The lead-up was quite special from Guillermo Mai again, just whetting the taste buds of football fans in general, and certainly the Auckland fans as he continues to grow. But it should quite clearly be 1-0 to Auckland.
Well, our commentators yesterday, that's a foul by Mai. Certainly put that miss in the Newcastle Jets Perth Glory game in the category of worst miss of the season. Is that one even more glaring?
I think Noah Bodic did pretty well from close range. If we're talking about
That's up
ours.
there as well.
Right up there. Rogerson past the second post, so you know there are degrees, aren't there?
Milanovic threads it through nicely is Antonsen, and he's dragged his effort wide. Chances started to appear for both teams at either end.
Well, of all the Wanderers players at the moment, at this sort of range, he's normally bang on, at least forcing a save, Antonsen. It was a tired effort as he pulled the shot wide. Another great opportunity. They've had two in recent succession, the Wanderers. The field is going to open up. I mean, there are massive doubts as to whether any team can maintain the sort of intensity off the ball that Auckland showed in that first half. And an hour played now. More chances will be created. Who is going to be the fresher? Auckland have just missed an open goal. The Wanderers have fluffed two clear sights at goal in recent time.
Free kick given to Auckland for the first challenge rather than the second. Alan Stoppage doesn't think there was anything in it. Rimmer going for the cheeky one.
Do you know what? Lawrence Thomas had to scramble just a little bit. He made it comfortably in the end. Slightly underhit from Jake Brimmer, much to his frustration, and it was certainly on target, and some pretty short stutter steps to get himself set there, Lawrence Thomas.
And they've set the trap again, Auckland, and one possession. Here's Guillermo Mai. Wanderers managed to snuff that one out, and now they're on the counter with Botidar Kraev leading the charge. Juan Mata on the left, back with Kraev. Quite sure what he was trying to do there. Was he trying to do the no-look shot or pass?
Well, I'm not sure what he could do there, actually. Look at Juan Mata's beautiful left foot. It hits, yeah, who knows? It was not an easy one to deal with, and as we've just seen, he couldn't deal with it. But Estrada missing, it was a rare thing, Estrada missing the chance to nail an opponent upfield fairly.
It feels like a goal is coming, Hans.
Well,
but which way?
Yes, exactly. Well, the Wanderers fans can't be confident it's going to be their team because they've had enough sights at the target already. Paulson yet to be required to be spectacular. Lawrence Thomas yet to be required, really.
Well, the side of that Brimmer free kick that he had to scramble across. Well, just hurt his shoulder a little bit in that as well, Lawrence Thomas. Brought down by Verstraete very neatly by the Belgian. One of only two Belgians left in the A-League, along with Anas Hamzaoui after the departure of Dino Arslanigic. It's all straight at Thomas, and he's spilled the ball. Under no pressure, but the Wanderers get away with one. And then given away by Milanovic. Guillermo Mai, clever little ball over the top. It's Moreno, surely Moreno. Good save by Thomas to atone. The Wanderers were hanging on by their fingernails there.
How did they get away with that? Thomas coughing the ball up on his own goal line. Ball slung in by Hiroki Sakai. And it's fair game from that point on. He does well to smother Moreno, who himself made great space for the shot. And then it ultimately falls to Guillermo Mai, whose left foot has been on point tonight up until that moment.
Well, the only mystery about this game is how it's still goalless. Auckland are pondering another change. More on that in a moment. Meantime, the ball with Francis de Vries. Felipe Gallegos being readied by Steve Corica. That's for Jake Brimmer. That's heavy strapping on the right leg. We'll see. Pineacre. De Vries. Turned back by Moreno. Brimmer. Line. Closed down pretty quickly. Zopoulos' ball forward though. He's going to come back at them. Rogerson protected it well. Away from Bozidan Kraev. Verstrata. Smarta holding off Bonatic. Verstrata shot again blocked. Wanderers having to work really hard to keep Auckland at bay. Moreno. There's room on the right. Rogerson's cross, my back post, and out for a corner off the head of Pantazopoulos.
Not for the first time. Pantazopoulos at the second post to clear the danger as Auckland were building the attack on goal.
In front of the red and black block. They were hoping to see the ball more up the other end in this second half. And they've got a bird's eye view of this corner about to be delivered by Francis de Vries. Towards the near post, easily dealt with by the Wanderers and thumped upfield by Oscar Priestman. Sakai, lovely ball for de Vries. Moreno. Just flicked off the head of Max Marta. Rogerson, Sakai, Verstrata. Cross from Sakai, high at near post, lovely first touch. Earns his team another corner. He's been impressive today.
He's been excellent today. Really enjoyed watching him. The Wanderers have found it impossible to handle him, really. And he's only had one bad touch, and that was from the moment, the only moment he's actually had to score. Actually incorrect. He forced that save from Lawrence Thomas in the first half, but he had that shot around about the penalty area in this second half, and he completely mishit it. Otherwise, he's been outstanding.
Sean Evans. Play peacemaker once again. Players in front of Lawrence Thomas. De Vries with the in-swinger this time. There's back post where Tom Smith was stationed, but couldn't keep it alive for Auckland, who are now going to make a double change. We're going to see a double change from the Wanderers as well. So Max Marta takes his leave to be replaced by Felipe Gallegos. We're also seeing the introduction of Marley Francois for Auckland. A double change for the Wanderers. Zach Sapsford and Marcus Antonsen both replaced. Aidan Hammond and James Temelkovski have got his first goal in the A-League. In their last match, the Wanderers against the Central Coast Mariners, teed up by Juan Mata. While the the introductions for Alan Stajic. So all change for both coaches. Rimmer. Lagos for Sakai. Rogerson, incidentally, the other player to be replaced for Auckland. Francois taking his place on the right-hand side of the attack. The player has been with the Bristol City Academy before being released at the start of the season over in the UK. Well, that of Tyrese Francois, both involved in the Australian junior setups. He goes for Strata. Breaks for Brimmer. Again, Auckland buzzing around the Wanderers penalty area. In the air well by Mai. Back over the head of Marley Francois. Monitoring to see it safely behind for a goal kick. There he is, Marley Francois. His brother currently with Wigan Athletic, but out with injury at the moment. Just his second appearance in Auckland colours after signing during the window, which is still open for a few more days. By finding Francois, Sakai alongside him, a little stumble from the substitute, but he's back to his feet. Well, to get the cross in.
Well, the Wanderers
puts out.
The Wanderers players asking for a handball. So to the technical staff, as he stumbled, the ball did strike. It did appear to strike the hand of Francois.
Sakai's throw. It's Bonneting underneath it. Down by the Strata. Sakai settling for another throw for the visitors. It's away by Brillante. And now Temelkovski looking to set his stamp on the game. And it's an intelligent ball too, and needed that run tracking all the way back from Gallegos. And now one back for the Wanderers by Pantazopoulos, and Paulson needs 2 bites at it. It had a fair bit of venom behind it.
Well, didn't it what? He stole the ball beautifully. And to the points made earlier, great if you've got the aggressive mindset to go for goal at the exclusion of a support player. You've got to make it count. He nearly did. He hit that beautifully, Pantazopoulos, and for Alex Paulson to be troubled, you know how well a ball has been hit. Hearts in mouths moment there for Steve Corica and the Auckland collection.
Alex Paulson, 7 clean sheets this season. His A-League record is extraordinary, by the way. 19 clean sheets in 39 senior appearances. Part of the reason why Bournemouth were keen on him. That's a loose one from Milanovic, and Brimmer steers it into the path here of his teammate, and surely Marley Francois. The Wanderers managed to scramble back and make the block once again. And Auckland denied for now. Sakai's ball in, but straight at Thomas this time. Their goal has lived a bit of a charmed life in the second half.
Very, very. And the Wanderers fans will be wondering how Moreno was allowed to get to that ball. Thomas shepherding it wide. Clisby said no risk, except that there was a risk. And they needed to scramble the ball clear in the air. That was a really near thing for Western Sydney.
Hammond shoved off the ball. Free kick. Approaching the last quarter of an hour. A game that has looked really anything but a 0-0 draw. This is how it would affect the ladder. Not much, in truth. Auckland would stay where they are, or they draw level with Adelaide on 28 points. They would remain in second on goals scored, as Adelaide have scored 31 to Auckland's 21, and the Wanderers would remain in 8th. All that could change. Kraev, not quite enough on that. Francois was back. Saka. Francois. Shot off the ball by Kraev. Right by Temelkovski for Mata. By the way, what a moment for James Temelkovski last week, albeit in a 3-1 loss to the Mariners. Scores his first goal, assisted by none other than Juan Mata. That's a story for the grandchildren.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm sure, knowing the competitive nature of...
To see how this plays out, because Temelkovski is in there ahead of Paulson. There are two waiting in the middle. It's swept away, though, by Pineacre.
There's another ball from Juan Mata. As great a feeling as it was, and it's a good goal. The disappointment overcomes that, or trumps it with the home loss and the flat performance from the Wanderers until those last 10 minutes. But you're right, Simon, the dust will settle and you'll have a wonderful video of a beautiful ball from one of the modern era's very, very good players. Highly regarded Juan Mata. He's played well here today.
Look at those numbers. 32 shots we've had, only 10 of those on target. And the fact that the score sheet remains blank is certainly not for the want of trying. Moreno just losing out to Pantazopoulos, who's had a pretty good game at the back for Western Sydney Wanderers. There's the commentator's curse. Sorry, Anthony. Just a little break here while Jack Clisby gets some attention. Dean Pelikanos and Mohamed Altai being readied for the Wanderers. It's going to be the Wanderers' debut for Mohamed Altai. Freshly re-signed for the club from Wellington Phoenix. Spent the earliest part of his A-League career, Altai, with the Wanderers, but didn't make a first-team appearance. Tonight might just be the night, 4 years after he left. Here's the Wanderers' next engagement, away to Brisbane on Friday. You'll see that game live, of course, on Paramount Plus. As mentioned earlier, their road form has been pretty good. It's here that they've had the problems. Dean Pelikanos has been told to go and sit down for the moment. Jared Carluccio has been summoned instead. In fact, it's going to be a triple change. Or is it? Who knows? They're playing musical chairs there on the Wanderers technical zone.
Well, I guess a lot of it's going to depend on what's happening with Jack Clisby. He's looking to retake the field on the far side.
Well, Juan Mata's afternoon is done. He's going to be replaced by Dean Pelikanos. And it's a double change in midfield with Oscar Priestman giving way for Mohamed Altay.
Kajema May asking Juan Mata as he left the field if he could exchange shirts in the sheds afterwards. Priorities, Keith, priorities. 3 points to be won here.
Surely that shirt's got to go to Max Mata, hasn't it? Auckland going to be the second New Zealand team involved in a goalless draw this weekend. Wellington and the Mariners finishing all square yesterday. And the score sheet being troubled. Just over 10 minutes or so, plus stoppages to change all that. Here's Altay. Now, of course, the fully fledged Iraqi international with 3 caps and hoping to go to the World Cup in North America in 12 months' time. Actually, more closer to 18 months. Comes around quick, though, doesn't it? Pantasopoulos' hopeful ball forward. Headed out by De Vries. And foul by Aidan Hammond. Jumping into Gallegos, rather. Steve Corica's team back in Auckland on the 1st of February for game, which is at home to MacArthur, and they're back on the road to face Western United before the third and potentially final instalment this season of the New Zealand derby against Wellington. And we're at that time of the afternoon when the Poznan takes place with 10 minutes to go. Hammond driving through what seemed like a non-existent gap. Still going, Aidan Hammond. Oh, and there are appeals for handball there. 2 or 3 Wanderers players went up simultaneously. The VAR will be looking at that, no doubt. Meantime, we'll continue with a Pantasopoulos throw. Towards Temelkovski, but out by De Vries as far as Clisby. No way through.
Excellent burst by Moreno.
Well, the arms were in what they call a natural position, close to the body. Certainly struck the arm of Verstraete. I don't really think the penalty was going to be awarded for that. Throw. Western Sydney haven't been kept scoreless in an A-League match since they lost 7-0 to Melbourne City at the back end of last season. 19 consecutive games on the scoreboard. Times this afternoon it's more like Auckland would. All-important first goal, but here's Bozidar Kraev going to blast one just outside the box.
Referee Sean Evans has seen a deflection off Tommy Smith. Kraev has worked really hard this afternoon. Difficult conditions. Well, he must have snickometer in his pocket, Sean Evans, to have picked that.
Unless he's blown for a foul. Kraev still flat on the floor. Certainly didn't touch Tommy Smith, at least not from our vantage point. No. He's given a corner. Even the Wanderers players seem confused because they've thrown the ball to the wrong side of the ground.
Well, a break for the Wanderers. See if they can capitalise.
Well, Auckland will be spewing if this leads to a goal. Again, there's plenty of push and shove, jostling for position. Oh, now could be fatal to either team's hopes if they concede. Tarkowski waiting in the middle for Clisby's delivery, but there's an infringement. Kraev, I think.
That's the call. This is Bonateg.
Yeah, he's not at fault. I think Kraev might have been pinged, but always so difficult to tell when there's so much going on in that penalty area. Alan Stadgy with the double two-pot. Going to make a double change late on here. You can see Jonty Bidwa on for just his second appearance. We're also going to see Cam Howison. Bruno Mai and Jake Brimmer are the numbers called. Wander off behind the Wanderers' goal. The two new boys have got just over 5 minutes to try and make their mark. Perhaps grab all 3 points for the visitors. Sakai's long launch again, and it's gone all the way through to Lawrence Thomas, who I'm sure wasn't expecting to be gathering the ball. A slight touch off an Auckland player.
Yeah, it was the sub. Straight off the bench.
It's a game that's deserved a goal, Harps, but it's increasingly unlikely that we might get one. Sakai. Gallegos. Smith square for Pineacre. Sakai is behind Bidwa. Galante. Hammond. Good spin by Aidan Hammond. Almost a very good retrieval. An awkward pass by James Temelkovski, who worked ever so hard to try and keep that one going.
Yeah, and then to pressure De Vries to win the throw-in. So good endeavour from Temelkovski.
Tay. Gallicanos. 2 minutes of the regulation 90 left. Who'd be the happier of the two coaches with a point if it ends up this way?
Very, very good question. Because I'd say after the difficulties in the first half for the Wanderers, Stoppage would be happy, but I think with the chances they've had to score and playing at home, I think he'll be the more irritable of the two coaches.
Still time for all that to change. Not too much of it though. We understand there's going to be 5 additional minutes at the end. To see if that is confirmed in a moment or two. Vomiting. I guess the two goalkeepers would be pretty happy with clean sheets. Maybe Alex Paulson's 8th of the season and just Lawrence Thomas's 2nd. Milanovic is offside meantime. Make their final change of the night. They held the wrong number up. Kersey having problem with the electronic scoreboard. Simmons is ready to come on. Wojciech Krajew wanders off on the far side. They held up the number of Anthony Pantazopoulos, who seemed pretty eager to come off. And those 5 additional minutes are confirmed. It's a pretty rudimentary challenge from Pantazopoulos on Francois. Auckland have scored 6 goals this season in the 84th minute or later. These goals worth a whopping 8 points to them. Made a habit of injury time goals. They got one, of course, after 100 minutes in Adelaide during the week. And got a potential non-scoring situation here. Reese's free kick. Smith at the back post and the overhead. Looked spectacular, but it wasn't accurate on Marley Francois.
Well, having quite won the free kick, Francois on the edge of the box goes for the overhead. Couldn't control it. Could have been quite the moment for him on the Harvey Norman replay. Would have got a few replays if he pulled that one off.
Still not sure would have beaten Jordan Lawton. Here come the Wanderers, looking to make a late bid for all 3 points, and Altay was being held back by Gallegos, who accepts the yellow card without question. Didn't really have much choice, I don't think.
No, but in the end, again, with the defence broken and retreating, I think Mohamed Altay would have been better served moving that ball on. The best defence in the league now has a chance to set themselves from the set piece.
4th yellow card of the season for Gallegos, puts him on the brink of a suspension. Importantly for Steve Corica's team, they are on red alert from this free kick. Pantazopoulos potentially lining this one up. No wonder. Evans just insisting that Sneijder Moreno drops the required 10 metres. It's put him on trust. He hasn't put a little line of foam there. There goes Pantasopoulos. Fancied he was going to have a cracking goal. Pretty weak effort in the end. Good win in the air by Bonatic, and a good stretch as well to prevent the ball from getting through on the follow-up. Away from Tamelkovski though. Auckland will go again. It's been a good game, Harps, and you can't help but feel as though you've been a bit cheated by not seeing a goal or two, because I think it's a game that's deserved it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Both teams have had some good sights at goal. They've played some good football. Just lacked that moment or that quality to put their opponent away.
Paulson having a hurry. De Vries. Towards Howison. It's an intelligent little glance back, looking for that run of his teammate. Pelikanos losing out in midfield. Is there a late chance here for Auckland? Maybe Moreno. It's in! With 30 seconds to go, the super sub has done it again. And Auckland are going to go home with the 3 points. A little bit of help off the crossbar, I think, as well. But Steve Corica doesn't care. We've had to wait 94.5 minutes. But Nader Moreno looks as though he's settled this one.
Harvey Norman replay. He's been great off the bench, Nader Moreno. And one telling chance, and he takes it, the Colombian. The Wanderers players scrambling. And as the ball thunders off the underside of the bar and into the goal, to settle this one, in unison, the Wanderers players collapse to the ground. He's been excellent off the bench, really troublesome for the Wanderers, and it's the coup de grace for the Colombian here in Parramatta.
And for the second time in a week, Steve Corica is punching the air in delight, deep, deep into stoppage time. They equalised against Adelaide in the 100th minute at Coopers. Not quite that late here, but in the context of the game, virtually the last kick. And Alan Stajic cannot quite believe it. Stumbled by Hammond. Is there time left for one chance for the Wanderers? Pantasopoulos losing out to Francois. He just needs to head for the hills, really. Or the corner, one of the two. And we're into the 7th minute of stoppage time. Howison. Gallegos. Just a bit of keen ball will surely do for the Black Knights. And there we go, victory confirmed for the visitors. Auckland march on. Back to the top of the A-League they go. Thanks to that late strike from Nader Moreno. They have done it again in stoppage time, as they inflict a 3rd consecutive defeat here at Combank for the Western Sydney Wanderers. It was a game that seemed destined to end goalless. But as they've done so often this season, Auckland would not give up the ghost, and they got their rewards. No team from New Zealand has ever won a trophy in the Australian National Leagues, but Steve Corica's outfit looked well placed to end that drought. Another clean sheet for Alex Paulson. And conversely, Combank becoming something of a graveyard rather than a fortress for the Wanderers. who remain well off the pace. Full time here in Parramatta. Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Auckland FC 1. Well, let's have a look at the Alex Tobin medal marks for today's game, and it's a 3-2-1 for the visitors. Guillermo Mai was excellent throughout with 3 before being replaced late on. Jake Brimmer with 2, and the match winner with 1. Let's get reaction with Tristan.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here with Guillermo Mai. You're making a habit of these late goals.
Wow. Today we should win before, I think, in the game. We played really well. Yeah, we are now getting the top of the league, so for sure we have great players who can change the game, like Nader. He's doing really well when he come in the field, so yeah.
What type of game was it to play in? It looked like it was quite frustrating for both of you maybe at half-time to try and get ahead. We just mentioned right before the goal came that it would be a shame if we didn't get one. What was it like out there?
Yeah, it's frustration. It's a frustration when you get the chances and you don't score. I have like 2 or 3. The keeper was in great positions. I think we play well this game. We keep the ball, we create chances, and they were getting a little bit frustrated with our game. This is football. When you don't think you will score, here it is.
But we're still trying to figure out what type of team you guys are. You know, you're getting points in many different ways. You're getting wins in many different ways. From the inside, from yourself, I mean, what have we not seen from you guys yet? Or what do you feel could be the next step for your team?
Of course, we need to play better sometimes. But we run the 11 we are in the field. We are like animals there. We are an aggressive team. We press really high. We duplicate teams sometimes without the ball. And yeah, nice and compact, playing all together. We don't have stars here. We are a worker team, you know. And when we get the chances, we take it.
Well, you get to take 4 points back, which is a very successful week. Congratulations. It's a pleasure to have you in the league and watching you every week. Good on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrific to watch. This one was a little bit less so. There's a bit of argy-bargy between the 2 sets of coaching staff at the end of the game. And that's Pikarim, I think. Yeah, the medical man who spent a bit of time with the Wanderers with some not too friendly words for his former club. We'll have more on this game, which ended in a win for Auckland on the other side of the break. Don't go away.
Alan, heartbreaking end to that game there. Do you feel like your team deserved a lot more from that?
Oh, look, I thought it was a 50-50 game, to be honest. They probably had more control possession. We probably looked like the bigger threat to score on the counter-attack a few times. Obviously had a couple of gilt-edged chances, and so did we. And you know, you got to take your chances in a game like that.
It really seemed like that. For the most part, we might have thought that Auckland were better in the first half, but you certainly got more clean-cut chances. You had a big chance maybe 10 minutes into the second half, and it just didn't go your way. But in terms of what you saw from your team in the second half, was that much better than what you saw from the first?
Yeah, look, I think both halves, they probably had a touch more control, but again, we just looked a threat. Both halves, you know, we certainly should have buried a couple of those chances, but they had a pretty easy one at far post there, about 55th minute as well. It's just one of those that could have went either way.
All right, well, you pick yourself up from here now. You've got a couple of days left in the transfer window, I suppose. You've added really well. You've certainly added some local boys who know the club, who know what it's about to play for this team. What else are you hoping to get going forward?
I'm not really worried about that at the moment, to be honest. I'm worried about the boys we have here, and, you know, they showed good fighting spirit today, but, you know, obviously we've got to do better. You know, we're losing touch with the top 6 now, so it's an important period for us to pick ourselves up quickly and get going again.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.